wilderness experience on the river as we explore the Pocono Mountains this summer, rewarding careers in tourism and hospitality, and how local schools and universities play a major role. We answer the question, what are your favorite Pocono places? Plus, PA state parks are still open and still awesome. We visit Gouldsboro State Park for some work and some outdoor fun.
Take a tour of this haunted attic, now open to the public for the very first time. The many ways to enjoy this former golf course turned nature preserve. Plus, meet the teens behind Mountain View Vineyard and the Frogtown Chop House, two of the best places in the Poconos to sip and savor delicious bites.
Welcome to the June edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. NASCAR weekend is almost here, June 20th to the 22nd. And these stands here at Pocono Raceway will be packed for a weekend full of excitement and adrenaline.
The Pocono Television Network will be here for the Explore the Pocono Mountains 250 on Saturday, followed by the Great American Getaway 400 presented by visitpa.com on Sunday. Make sure to get your tickets at poconoraceway.com.
So before or after NASCAR race weekend, stock car racing experience lets you get behind the wheel of one of these vehicles, even a PTN vehicle on the Tricky Triangle. Speaking of exploring the Pocono Mountains, Dee headed out to adventure with Northeast Wilderness Experience. Check it out.
Tucked in the heart of the Poconos is a company driven by passion and powered by nature. Northeast Wilderness Experience helps their guests connect with the outdoors. I'm here with owner Daniel, whose lifelong passion for the outdoors kind of became a mission to share with others. So Daniel, what sparked your passion for the outdoors?
From a young age, I've always been passionate about the outdoors. When I was a young guy, I started a bike shop in my basement of my house, and then as a teenager, I was hired by a local company called Northeast Sports, where they did bike mechanics, they did sales of outdoor gear, really kind of got my passion going with that, and they also began programming while I was there.
Daniel, tell me how your bike shop, Sawmill Cycles, ties into the Northeast Wilderness Experience.
Sure, so they're kind of partner companies. We decided to separate them for branding purposes, but we work very closely together. So at the bike shop here, we do sales and services of all the outdoor goods, from bikes to kayaks to camping to backpacking, all that. So this is kind of our retail operation. Northeast Wilderness Experience is our outfitting operation and rental operations.
And I love that you not only offer everything that people need, but you have the guided tours, you have the rental, you sell, so you're a one-stop shop. Correct.
That's, I think one of our biggest assets is that we're not just a company that sells the gear. We're not just a company that rents the gear and sends people out. We actively use the products. We're out there with them, so we can really talk about what their user experience is going to be.
Tell me what your guests can experience when they come to Northeast Wilderness Experience.
So expectations, one of the things we are a custom guided company, custom built company, custom experience company. So one of the things that makes us different is we don't generally have, kind of boilerplate cookie cutter programs. If there is a type of program that you want to do or type of experience you want to get, we'll work with you to try to match that and create that experience for you. But a typical weekend for a family could be coming up on a Friday night, setting up camp, getting a big set, having their first overnight experience. And we even offer a service if you're not really that adept at making campfires. We'll set a campfire up for you, have things prepped for when you arrive. We can even offer renting tents to you if you don't have tents. We can accommodate tents at the sites for you. So we really can do a full service, kind of build up for you if this is new to you. If you have the experience and you know what you're doing, again, come in, get your site set up. The following day, if you choose to do a river program, again, we can set up longer trips, shorter trips, so we can kind of modify where we put it on the river to match the type of experience that you want to get. The most reward is getting people into this, seeing that spark, getting the passion going, and really giving them a safe, good environment and well instructed to how to do it properly so that next time they can have a great experience as well.
I'm excited to get on the river today. It's such a beautiful day out.
It is. It's nice when it's a little bit overcast because on the river there is zero shade. Right? Yeah. This is one of the things we always talk about. On the river also you get that reflective light too. So if it's a really sunny day, plan for a lot of sunblock, for a lot of sun exposure. But a day like this, when you're on the river, you're working out, so you're you're building a little bit of heat.
Relaxing.
So this is a nice kind of chill thing when you have a nice weather like this.
All right. with every paddle stroke or any adventure you choose, Northeast Wilderness Experience will help you disconnect, unplug, and discover the magic of the Delaware River and the beautiful Pocono Mountains. So if you're ready to escape into nature, you know now exactly where to start. I'm Deanna with the Pocono Television Network.
Being neighbors is common across the Poconos, but how about two state parks that are next door neighbors? Explore another great state park, Gouldsboro, next on Pocono Mountains Magazine. More great stories on Pocono Mountains Magazine coming up. First, some Poconotables from across the region.
And the results are in. 300 plus volunteers recently participated in the spring Pick Up the Poconos litter cleanup, collecting nearly 600 bags of trash from 40 locations around the region. Learn more about the overall campaign, which has removed over 50,000 bags of trash from our roadways at pickupthepoconos.com.
All the time on the water, properly fitted so it doesn't come up. That right there, statistically, is the difference between drowning and not drowning.
Volunteers trained on the Upper Delaware River with the National Canoe Safety Patrol. These crews urge everyone to wear it when on the river. Our PMVB team even sported life jackets for National Wear Your Life Jacket to Work Day.
These are dollars coming in from outside of our area that we're reinvesting back in our community.
From beautifying small towns to enhancing parks and playgrounds, the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau is Pocono Proud to invest nearly $200,000 into 25 community projects in the Poconos this year, benefiting all who live in and visit the region. Since 2022, $1.4 million have been awarded among 156 projects through the PMVB Community Impact Grant.
The Swiftwater was honored with another AAA 4 Diamond Award. That's 2 within its first year of opening to the public here in the Poconos.
Pocono Mountains is full of history, and today we're taking you for a lesson.
NBC Philadelphia highlighted 2 stops along the new Pocono History and Art Trail, the No. 9 Coal Mine and Museum, plus the Schisler Museum and McMunn Planetarium at East Stroudsburg University.
Slide into the Pocono Mountains water parks.
From the past to present, NBC Philadelphia also checked out the Poconos' great indoor water park resorts, Great Wolf Lodge, Kalahari Resorts and Conventions, and Aquatopia at Camelback Resort, where the fun has extended outdoors for the season.
Pocono Television Network is everywhere you are, including broadcast, cable, and streaming. Download the free PTN app on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and iPhone, Android, Google, and smart TVs. Or rescan and get the PTN digital signal in Philly, Harrisburg, Baltimore, and Scranton-Wilkes-Barre. Or if you're on cable, PTN is on Blue Ridge, Service Electric, and more, where you can watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, anytime at PoconoTelevision.com. Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamill, and it's no secret that tourism is a huge part of the economy here in the Pocono Mountains, contributing billions of dollars to the local economy, especially from right here at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. So we wanted to share a story, not just of the facts and figures, but of the people and the power of the Poconos. From a broad view of these Pocono Mountains, the region is home to many. Home away from home to many more. 4 seasons of fun: winter, spring, summer, and fall, across 2,400 square miles of forests, lakes, rivers, and mountains, historic downtowns, and iconic family resorts. By the numbers, the Poconos as a destination to 30 million people from New York, Philly, to the top 5 metros in the United States. As a driver of the local economy, tourism and hospitality contributes $4.8 billion with a B to the Pocono Mountains. With an industry that big and that intertwined with the Poconos, it means nearly half of all the employees in the region are in hospitality and tourism in some shape or form, and that accounts for nearly half of the labor income. All those statistics, data, and numbers don't tell the whole story, especially when people are at the heart of the Pocono Mountains success story.
I'm
so grateful to be part of the Kalahari family.
People like Betty Valise, a longtime guest at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions, who one day took the leap to start her career here.
I started here like 2 years ago, and definitely being through Kalahari's Rising Star program helps me tremendously to grow up as a leader, and also lean to my recent promotion.
Betty has been promoted to Convention Services Manager. Kalahari leadership recognizes her potential and is supporting her and her career.
We just saw the passion that she had for the industry, and the passion that she had for the guests, and the attention to detail, and the drive that she had. And we knew that she was going to do something really, really wonderful for us.
Don Flo knows what it takes to rise from dishwasher as a young adult to general manager of this massive operation that welcomes guests and corporate events, requiring an equally massive crew behind and in front of the scenes.
So having a facility like this it's its own city, and we can have as many as 5,000 guests on the property. We need every single business to support this. We have accountants, we have CPAs, we're a licensed EMT property here in the state of Pennsylvania, so we have EMTs on property. We have our own security team that's made up of people that are aspiring to go into the police force or who have been in the police force. And we have human resources experts. It takes every type of business there is to be able to run a property this size.
Same story down the road at Camelback Resort, a pioneer in diversifying its offerings for all seasons. Like other Pocono employers, Camelback has a number of warriors now out in the world, like Laurent, a recent graduate.
Before I came here, I had no idea we had 29 departments here, so it's hospitality management, but we have our own finance department, we have our own human resource department, procurement, recreation. We have one of the biggest aquatics departments, over 400 lifeguards. We have our mountain operations with snowmaking, and then in the summer we turn into we have an outdoor water park. We have our zip lines, mountain coaster. So it's a big recreational aspect to this resort, as well as the rooms division, and there's a career for everyone at Camelback Resort.
Laurent met Camelback's managing director Dave McCarskey on campus one day. Pretty soon, the international student from Albania was part of the team.
We have a number of students that then come for internships or co-op programs, and ultimately the graduates come here looking for permanent employment.
Like Laurent, right?
Laurent's one of them, absolutely.
East Stroudsburg University continues to build its hotel, restaurant, and tourism management program, connecting aspiring leaders in the industry to career tracks like Camelback and others.
We literally, at our peak season, have 1,400 associates across 29 different departments. So we are always thinking about how we stratify, how we diversify our workforce, and the local partnerships with East Stroudsburg University and NCC and the Monroe County Technical Institute, they all play a part with us.
Back at Kalahari, Betty and Don and this city of employees are confident in the power of the Poconos, providing career pathways through education and real-life experience.
I started as a cashier, then I worked my way up to it, and I be better. Then I became #1 cashier, move up to a hostess, then server, then assistant the managers. Then I move up to a higher scale. I said, okay, I wanted it to be a captain. And I make my way up to a captain, and look who I am right now.
We are strong supporters of the hospitality industry. There's 47 million Americans within 4 hours of where we're sitting right here this morning, Jim. And if you go up to 12 hours, a third of the population of the United States lives within 12 hours. The Poconos has nothing but opportunity ahead of itself.
Pocono tourism with people at its core for a vision, as well as action and strategy. This has been Jim Hamill with the Pocono Television Network.
From birdies to birds, we're bringing you to the former golf course that's now a nature preserve, the perfect place to visit this spring or summer, coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
This edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine is presented by St. Luke's Monroe Campus and East Stroudsburg University.
What's all the buzz about? It's the annual Honey and Blueberry Festival, returning to the Equestrian House in Pleasant Mount, Wayne County, the last 2 weekends in July. Explore over 100 acres on this former horse farm and pick your own wild blueberries. Learn about honeybees and shop local food and craft vendors. For more information, head to honeyblueberryfestival.com and we'll see you at the farm. From birdies to birds, today we're bringing you to a former golf course that's now a place to take a leisurely walk, cast a line in the creek, or maybe even spot some bald eagles.
So pretty much everything here is either planted or invasive.
Louise Troutman walks us through the ForEvergreen Nature Preserve in Antelope. The trail is a mile-long loop, great for all ages and abilities, open to the public every day from dawn to dusk.
I really like this property because it has this great big wide road. It's a gravel road, it goes all the way around. It's almost flat. We get anybody and everybody.
Stroud Township owns the preserve and rents the Brodhead Creek Heritage Center on site to 2 organizations dedicated to protecting the Poconos' natural resources, the Brodhead Watershed Association and Pocono Heritage Land Trust, where Louise is the executive director. The Heritage Center not only serves as their offices, but is also home to a museum, rotating art exhibits, public programs, and events.
Yeah, this is a fall scene from the Brodhead right out here.
Don Baylor is an accomplished fly fisherman and passionate painter whose artwork is featured here. He also researched this display about the Brodhead Creek, known as the birthplace of American fly fishing and accessible to anglers from the preserve.
I fish the Brodhead all over the place, but this is one of my favorite spots because I helped get it established as a year-round, non-stocked wild trout fishery, and it produces some beautiful wild brown trout and rainbows.
During your walk on the pet-friendly trail, take a rest and enjoy unobstructed views of this nearby bald eagle's nest. While none nested here this year, we were lucky enough to spot these 2 eagles on a different part of the preserve. Louise says bird and animal sightings are common.
This is a good spot also because we have beavers and muskrats down here. So sometimes you'll see those guys, and then the eagles are there, and then right on the other side of that is the creek. So there's so much wildlife here.
Finn Hills offers the finest in outdoor activities with an 18-hole golf course, trap shooting, tennis courts, paddle tennis, and much more.
The Nature Preserve was once the Evergreen Golf Club, affiliated with the former Penn Hills Honeymoon Resort, a renowned getaway for couples from all over the world. The iconic resort and golf course were connected by a bridge over the Brodhead. And this golf course holds a special meaning to me. I remember growing up, I would be in the golf cart as my grandfather played a round of golf here. In fact, here's a picture of my grandfather on the far right standing next to Whitey Ford, the famous New York Yankees pitcher and Hall of Famer who owned 2 homes in the Poconos and played at the golf course. While this property has been reclaimed by nature, signs of its previous life still remain, like this lightning structure along the trail and the Heritage Center itself, renovated from the original clubhouse.
So if you look, some places you'll see like some sand over there where there was a sand trap. You know, there's some indications of what it used to be. And there's also a lot of water that doesn't quite make sense, you know, like there's a kind of a pond here where it doesn't seem like maybe there should be a pond, but then if you look closely, there's some pipes and things, you know.
Don also remembers the early days of this property, the Evergreen Golf Club, now the ForEvergreen Nature Preserve. He's proud to share his knowledge about the Brodhead Creek with all who visit, whether it's for the water, walking, wildlife, or workshops.
The Brodhead is probably the most historic spot in the country in the history of trout fishing, because in the 1800s, first half of the 1900s, almost every angling writer, significant angler, including 4 presidents and Gifford Pinchot and Broadway stars, came here to fish the Brodhead. A place where nature is taking its course.
I'm Brianna Stroud with the Pocono Television Network.
Hey guys, Jim Hamill here with Pocono Television Network. We wanted to find out what are people's favorite Pocono places. This is Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. And so we wanted to find out from tourism industry officials and the people in the know, what are your favorite Pocono places? Come on along. Rachel Whitecoff from Shawnee Mountain Ski Resort, we wanted to ask you, what are your favorite Pocono places?
Gosh, I think my favorite is the Delaware River. I love canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding. We take our kids out there. It's like the best day ever.
And then when it's too cold to be out there, you're on the mountain.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, skiing and snowboarding, that's obviously my favorite place.
Perfect. Rachel, thank you.
Thank you.
Look who else I found here, Nikki Hurley with Pocono Whitewater and Pocono Biking. We know Jim Thorpe, we love Jim Thorpe. That's a great Pocono place. What are your favorite Pocono places?
My favorite Pocono place is Jim Thorpe. Born and raised, never left for a reason. You know, the outdoors, the shopping, the antiques, the museums. It's a great place to be. Why do you want to go anywhere else?
The river, the trails.
Oh, the river, the trail, it's what I do, it's what I love. I grew up on the river, I grew up on camping along the trail, which we're not allowed to do anymore. But it's a great place to be. It's like the one-stop shop for everything, all ages. You know, go to Jim Thorpe.
See you in Jim Thorpe. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.
While we're here at Kalahari, we wanted to find out from the elephant in the room. Sir, what is your favorite Pocono place? I'm honored to stand in the presence of President of Pocono Raceway, Ben May. Ben, you must have a favorite Pocono place out there.
All right, so I've lived in the Poconos for over 20 years at this point, and I always go back to Boulder Field at Hickory Run State Park.
That's a pretty cool place. We adventured out there for one of our state park series as well. It's unnatural, doesn't it? It feels so otherworldly.
It does. We took, my wife and I took the kids out there a couple years ago, and it's, to me, like, I don't know, my brain doesn't know what it's looking at, right? Because you have just these acres and acres of boulders surrounded by woods, and it's just clean in the middle. It's the most fascinating thing. So I tell anybody that's visiting the Poconos, go check out Boulder Field.
That's a Pocono place, and so is Pocono Raceway. Thanks, Ben. Now we found ourselves Sarah Farrell, Regional Sales Manager for the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. You must have a favorite Pocono place.
Oh, I have so many, so this is pretty hard. But I think my most recent find is probably the Swiftwater property. Yeah, so great new hotel property. They have a wonderful restaurant I just dined at called the Olivet. Just top notch, exquisite service, just fantastic all around.
And that's a brand new place and a lot of other cool things around it to do, like water parks. The sake's right next door, so you got sushi and hibachi.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that, absolutely. They have a little bit of everything, which is wonderful. Great experience.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.
You got it.
There are so many Pocono places. Make sure you find your Pocono place by heading to PoconoMountains.com/places. This has been Jim Hamill with the Pocono Television Network.
Sip some wine, soak in the views, and discover the story behind it all. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
A candle shop with haunted history, and now the most paranormal part of the building is now open for tours. Be one of the first to see it. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
You are about to embark upon the Great Crusade. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory.
Small town charm, boutique shopping, historical attractions, and luxury spa resorts. With so much to offer, you'll want to stay a few nights. Book your trip to the Pocono Mountains by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
There's something special about the Pocono Mountains. The way the air feels, the way the time slows down, and for one couple, it's the place where a dream became a way of life.
Hi, this is Randy and Linda Rice at Mountain View Vineyard's new coming soon location for our new winery.
Over 20 years ago, they bought this land with a simple idea: grow grapes, make wine, and build something from the ground up. What they've created, it's so much more than a winery. It's a labor of love that's been growing, evolving, and welcoming guests over all these years.
Welcome to Mountain View Vineyard, a now 100-acre family farm, winery, brewery, and distillery. And yes, everything you see was built by hand, with hard work, love, and a lot of passion. Let's go check it out.
It all started with a little faith and the dream of a vineyard. They planted the first vines by hand, tended the soil, and learned the land. Then came the wine, then the brewery, and a little later, the distillery. Randy's ideas kept coming, and Linda stood by his side every step of the way.
We just find ourselves following what we believe is God's vision for our lives, and it just keeps blossoming into something new and exciting. And so we don't look back, and we don't worry about whether we have the money or the provisions. We're just jumping in wholeheartedly and waiting for God to step up and make it happen.
And when they decided to add the kitchen, it wasn't just about the food. It was about flavor, freshness, and creating dishes with ingredients straight from their garden across the street when in season.
When we were designing the building, we were looking around at the other wineries and breweries, and a lot of them, very few of them had food. And so we decided to, bite the bullet, spend the extra money, and turn that into a kitchen. And that was like one of the best decisions we ever made during this whole journey, because right now, food makes up about 30% of our sales, and guests love the fact that they can come and eat and drink at the same time.
So can you also tell me about the harvest that you guys do every year?
Yes, that is our most fun time of the year. That's like where it all comes to fruition. For years, we had the community come out and help us. We had volunteers. They would come and help pick the grapes, and then we would have like a little party afterwards. But as the vines here started to grow and produce more fruit, we found that it went from taking a day to 4 weeks. So we did some research and we invested in a harvesting machine. It took harvesting from 4 weeks to 4 days. When we first started out, we did everything by hand. We had very small equipment. It is a very capital intensive business. So we purchased something like once a year. It's something else new for the production side and to make everyone's job easier. And then we're always adding some more things for the community and the guests that visit us. So yeah, glad we bought that machine.
Did you think that it would evolve to where it is today?
No, we actually, as a business, we started as a mom and pop, and we expected that was where we were going to be. We still to this day look at each other and go, oh my goodness, this is God's beauty here, and we've been blessed with it, and we still feel like we have to pinch ourselves and say, look what this is ours, and not in a vain way. It's in an appreciative, thankful way. We love what we do, and we just feel blessed.
Whether it's your first visit or your 50th, you're not just a guest here. You're part of something real. You're part of Randy and Linda's dream. Cheers for Mountain View Vineyard. I'm Deanna Fontanez with the Pocono Television Network.
Welcome to the Candle Shoppe of the Poconos in Swiftwater, where the 300 different fragrances of hand-poured candles and 3 floors of home decor aren't the only attractions.
This was the holding cell that the monkeys would be kept in.
Cages that couldn't contain the haunted history down below, and the paranormal place up top, now open to the public for the very first time. But before we get to that, this story begins in 2007, when Linda Schleer, with a family background in candle making, dreamed of opening her own candle shop. She came across this old yet charming building along Route 611.
This building was an antique store back in the day, and it just has that look of this cozy brownstone house built in 1897. And it's just gorgeous.
The Candle Shoppe of the Poconos was born, but soon after, Linda says strange things started happening. Paper towels and other items would show up in places she didn't leave them, and one day while she decorated a fireplace mantle,
so I got up to about the 4th step, and all of a sudden, in the whole place, the smoke dust started to rise, and this circular movement of animals running low to the ground, but just running. And as they were running, I was frozen, so the dust kicked up and started coming over my head on the ladder. So I jumped off the ladder, ran out the door, did not come back in, because I had to call my husband and say, someone needs to get here right now, because I'm not going back in there. Because I definitely had an experience here.
When Linda started clearing out the basement to expand her business, she came across cages, old medical equipment, and the overwhelming smell of animals. Through research, she learned her Candle Shoppe was once the family home of Dr. William Redwood Fisher of Pocono Laboratories, headquartered down the road. He used his basement as a medical research lab, conducting scientific experiments on spider monkeys to find cures for smallpox and yellow fever, a devastating disease his own father suffered from.
So this is the equipment that we actually found here in the basement.
Linda eventually decided to share that history with her customers and opened The Haunted, a narrated tour in the basement led by Pocono Joe, where you can learn about Dr. Fisher and his contributions to vaccine research, get up close to his tools, personal belongings, and paperwork, see the original monkey cages, and testing area. Animal Planet even caught wind of Linda's story in 2009 and featured the Candle Shoppe in its TV show, The Haunted. Linda says employees and visitors will commonly hear and feel the monkeys and other spirits throughout the Candle Shoppe.
They feel like there's energy and they feel like they can't go forward, or they pull their hair. Not drastically, but just you feel like someone's touching you, or they're following you. And then in the midsummer here, you smell like, it's like the Philadelphia Zoo here. You smell the animal smells over the candles, which is unheard of because this place smells beautiful inside because we manufacture all the great scents. But there's different things that go on in this house at different times of the year.
We actually put in a set of stairs to bring people up here, but this was the original attic ladder that brought people in.
Now the tour is expanded to include the attic, which mediums and psychics have long said is the most paranormal part of the building. In fact, they urged Linda to never open the space for retail. This was Dr. Fisher's office. Then his daughters likely lived up here with their 2 pet monkeys through the 1960s and sewed theater dresses for local productions. When Linda's team cleared out the attic to get ready for tours, they came across Dr. Fisher's name etched in a dresser. And these old shoes.
You could just see that the styles from the early 1900s really are kind of indicative of some of the styles we still use today.
Now I want to open the attic, not for retail, but I want people to be able to view it and see what goes on up there. I want to see what really happened.
The Haunted runs select days Memorial Day weekend through Christmas time. Tour the basement and attic for just $25. Get your tickets at the door or online at mycandleshoppe.com. I'm Brianna Strunk, the Pocono Television Network.
We visit Gouldsboro State Park for some work and some outdoor fun. Next on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Everyone has a story, and your smile is the best way to tell it. It shows your confidence, greets new friends, and opens the door to new possibilities.
St. Luke's OMS offers all-on-4 dental implants, a revolutionary solution to help you regain your smile.
Dental implants are a minimally invasive procedure that provides a permanent alternative to traditional dentures that will give you immediate results and enhance your quality of life.
Get the smile you deserve with St. Luke's OMS. Contact us today.
Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamill, and here we are at Gouldsboro State Park, the next one in our 8-part series on exploring state parks in the Poconos. Gouldsboro, if you remember, is direct neighbor to Toby Hanna State Park, which has a lake a lot like this one. It has boating, and we head out on the trail with park manager Justin Wade, plus learn about some projects being done by the Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps. Check it out.
From a bird's eye view of Gouldsboro State Park, the lake, and all the woods surrounding it are something to behold. Closer to the water, there are migratory birds making their homes, and families casting their lines on a visit from Delaware.
It's a perfect place to take kids my kids' age or, younger, older. There's a lot to do.
Lyric Ellis and her twins found Gouldsboro on a trip to celebrate their 9th birthday.
They're not going to forget this. Whether you catch a fish or not, it doesn't matter. It's the experience. It's the learning how to cast. It's the reeling it in. It's taking in the nature.
There are lots of ways to take in nature at Gouldsboro State Park, on the water or on dry land. We enlisted park manager Justin Wade for a hike on a sunny day in May. Up first, the Frank Gantz Trail.
The Frank Gantz Trail does connect the two parks. We're hiking about a half a mile to a bridge that's kind of like the centerpiece between the two parks. However, the trail itself is about 3.5 miles long, which connects the two parks. But Gouldsboro and Tobyhanna both have that rich history right together, and the parks are right next to each other.
That's pretty unique. So you don't have far to go when you're at both parks. You could just kind of hop right over and manage things from there, especially as we get open for the summer.
Summer at Gouldsboro includes 7 miles of trails complete with bird calls throughout. There's also a beach for swimming and boat rentals too.
What makes it stand out from those other parks is, I believe, the visitation. It's quiet, it's secluded here. Really not that many people, I think, know about it. They see Gouldsboro on the map, oh, they have a little park there. Well, that little park is a state park, Gouldsboro State Park, which is connected to Tobyhanna, which makes it a large venue of outdoor recreation.
When folks pay a visit to Gouldsboro this and in future seasons, they'll have the handiwork of the Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps to thank for upgrades to the changing rooms at the beach.
This week we've been mostly working on carpentry skills. We're tearing down some walls and rebuilding them. So we've been working on using some power tools and making sure things are plumb and square.
Rebecca Gordon and her fellow crew members are working in all kinds of weather, when the sun shines or when the rains fall. Each of these members of the PA Outdoor Corps learning key skills for conservation jobs. Vincent DeMarco will start a full-time job at a state park after he's finished on the Outdoor Corps.
Well, I look at it as like a stepping stone. I know this job is great for networking for not just state parks, but state forests. Honestly, I like the path that I'm going on right now, and I thank it all to PA Outdoor Corps for giving me the starting step to my journey.
These are actual jobs. These are not volunteer positions. They get paid, and they get paid well.
The Outdoor Corps in PA is also building on diversity in state parks so that visitors can see themselves in park staff.
I take pride in state parks. When I'm not at work, I'm in a state park myself, and I do activities such as hiking, and I like to fish a lot. Get outside one day and go to a state park. It'll change your perspective on what we do for the parks and then what you could actually experience in the park and activities that you could do with friends and family.
When the job is complete, this crew will have more than these parks projects to point to as a success. They're careers they could be embarking on. Maybe much like park manager Justin Wade, now overseeing 3 parks and sharing them with us all.
We're open all 4 seasons, still open, we're still awesome here. We have opportunities for almost nearly everyone. Whether you want to go fishing for the day, relaxing on the beach, picnicking, having a picnic with a grill, whatever it may be. The boat rental, kayaking a little bit, hiking, lots of opportunities for everybody.
Thanks for exploring Gouldsboro State Park with us. To learn more, go to PoconoTelevision.com. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Meet the team behind one of the best spots for fine dining in the Poconos.
East Stroudsburg University. Dozens of degree opportunities, taught by exceptional faculty. Exciting campus life and the beauty of the Poconos. ESU, where everything you want is closer than you think.
Sunset Hill Shooting Range in Henryville, PA offers an unforgettable shooting experience. Nestled in the scenic Pocono Mountains, it provides a safe, high-energy environment for shooters of all levels. With over 125 firearms, ranging from handguns and rifles to machine guns and a grenade launcher. Every shot is an adventure.
Featuring top-notch equipment and expert instructors, Sunset Hill is the ultimate spot to test your skills and feel the thrill. Gear up and make your mark at Sunset Hill today.
Early on, I tried to be like really creative, which set the tone for myself as a chef. I got away from some of that to look at the efficiency of menu, what works in the setting. We've really evolved the Frogtown Chop House into an experience-based restaurant. The menu's not fancy, it's short, sweet, to the point. This is a pretty straightforward American meat and potatoes chop house. As a child, I was definitely interested in food. Both my grandmothers cooked, my mom's a great cook. So when I first started the Frogtown Chop House, day one, I was in the kitchen with my mom, known as Grammy now, and she sat and she wrote down every menu item, every recipe, and I'd add another pinch of this, another scoop of that, and we worked out, I wanted a signature dessert. It was going to be our cinnamon caramel brioche bread pudding. So brioche bread, eggs, heavy cream, a lot of sugar, and then slow and low bake it in the oven, hits all the notes, and we make a caramel sauce that goes on top of it. I went to Shippensburg University and got a degree in earth space science with a secondary education degree, and thought I was going to be a teacher, and realized that I was not going to be suited to be responsible for like 100 kids a day. I could really barely take care of myself at 21 years old. My mom came home from work one day and said, hey, I have a friend that went on a cruise up in Maine, and she heard them talking, the crew and stuff, that they look for people every season. That's what started my culinary career. Everything was from scratch. I got up every morning at 4:30 in the morning on the boat. It was a 120-foot schooner, and it was probably the most sort of inspirational summer for me. It was the most adventurous summer. I decided I wanted to pursue like an actual career as a chef. So I decided I would try culinary school in Baltimore. I learned a bunch. I ended up becoming a chef instructor. There was an older gentleman in class named Steve. So he was talking with another chef instructor, and I sort of butted into the conversation, and the conversation ended up being about, well, why are you here, Steve? You know? Well, Mr. Steve said, I'm here because I want to go and open a bed and breakfast and restaurant in the Poconos. I said, wow, that sounds awesome. It sounds like you'll need a chef. He said, yeah. So I went and lived in a room while we located finally the Frogtown Inn and 6 Acres Restaurant, which is over in Canadensis. And that was my first kitchen. I got to rearrange it how I wanted and really started to establish myself in the Poconos. I got married September 27, 2008 to my beautiful bride, Anne. And we went on our first little honeymoon. We went months later on our real honeymoon, but we went down to Long Beach Island and went to the restaurant called Tucker's, and they had a fried tomato stack. So it was 2 half tomatoes, breaded and fried, and then dressed with like a red sauce and a basil sauce or something, right? So I was like, oh, I loved it. I wanted to take that tomato and turn it into what I thought would be like a healthier version of that. So what I did was I took the 2 tomato halves, seasoned them, covered them in crumbled blue cheese and baked them in the oven. And then they got stacked. Fresh basil oil, so a ton of fresh basil and olive oil, and turned that into like a puree or a basil oil. Right, and did that, the basil oil, and again, a balsamic glaze drizzle, and the colors are neat. I always like to consider the colors on the plate. So you have red and green and that white against this, like the dark black of the balsamic. It makes for a really beautiful presentation. So I was a young chef at the Frogtown Inn, and my wife was the bartender. So we were the front of house, back of house team. And she came to me and said, hey, this guy came in, Eric, we used to go to Kinderhouse together, you know, cool guy. Next time he's in, you gotta say hi to him. And he was like this Manhattan hotshot running restaurants in Manhattan. And, you know, he's got like his beautiful thick head of hair. And so then we go and sit at his bar. He was working around the corner at a bar. And by the end of it, it was one of those like, I probably had too much to drink. He probably had too much to drink. It was one of those like, I love you, man. I love you too, bro. We should open a restaurant together. It'll be perfect, man. I'll run the front of the house. You can run the back of the house. It'll be great, right? You know, and then the next morning you're waking up going, oh, what did we talk about? What happened? Right? Well, here we are 13 years after that, running restaurants together. So I have come a long way from doing like fried jicama chips and like roasted beets on the menu. And now I also get other people involved in that menu development experience. Your team buys in when they have input into it. We do offer baked potatoes on our menu. And one thing I don't like to do is 86 any item or have to like tell our guests that we don't have it at the end of a night. So I always cook extra baked potatoes. So one of my culinary team members decided to combine two loves, French onion and potato skins. So we make caramelize and cook down the onions for hours, and then we have all the baked potatoes from the night before. We core them out, fry them, fill them with that onion filling, Swiss cheese on top, bake them in the broiler, and then a little drizzle of balsamic to finish. The goat cheese bread bowl is a recent addition to the menu, and that goat cheese comes from Cranberry Creek Farm. A buddy of mine, Jeff, came with samples and said, hey man, the goats are making this really great goat cheese, check it out. It was like, boom. We have ciabatta rolls. I cut it in half, I cored it out, stuffed it in there, threw it in the oven till the cheese was like really soft and the bread was toasty. Took the other half, cut it into crostini, threw that on the plate with a little arugula to dress it up, and then did a balsamic glaze drizzle around it, and the team went wild. And I was like, okay, that was it. We get several cuts from Corona Butcher right on 611, from Jimmy the Butcher. I was thinking about this prior to the interview. I hope someone someday picks up my phone and sees like, you know, my messages to Jimmy the Butcher, and they're like, I better put this phone down, right? Like, who am I messing with here? But Jimmy's been now the owner of Corona Butcher for a year and a half, 2 years, good buddy of mine. We've been partnered up for 13 plus years, maybe even more. And he cuts our bone-in ribeye, he fresh grinds our burgers for us, he cuts our strip steaks, we do a thick cut bacon from Corona Butcher, but the bone-in ribeye, after a lot of, you know, finagling and me, you know, being a curmudgeon-y old chef and making sure the specs are right every time, Jimmy's got it down pat. We get an awesome 24-ounce bone-in ribeye. Beautiful, he cuts it for us. This grill must be 1,000 years old. I don't know how old it is, but it's been around forever. It's massive, it gets super hot. It's got great flavor on it. And then depending on temperature, it gets finished in the oven or finished right on the grill. What started Eric and I on our path to success was our conversation with the guests, like getting to know them, sitting down with them. We have throughout our reviews, I felt like I was family. I was felt so welcome there. Eric's attention to detail is top shelf. He is the guy that puts it all together. We have a general manager now. She has also been invited to be part of our ownership team. Well deserved for Kara. He manages the front via Kara, he manages the back via me. He is moving into a little bit more of the political realm through the PRLA, that's the Pennsylvania Restaurant Lodging Association. He sits on a lot of boards, so he's a very, very busy dude. And here at the restaurant, he's got everyone in line on numbers and inventory and staffing and processes and procedures. So Eric and I found out real quickly that we complement each other's work style. And it sort of, all came together in what I think is a great relationship now, 13 years into it, and we still get along. The kids are best friends. We travel together, we vacation together, we do life together. It's been pretty remarkable, and again, it's another one of those scenarios where I feel really blessed that we've met each other and can do it together.
Eric and Lyman at the Frogtown Chop House are some of our favorite foodies here in the Poconos. Make sure you race there for a great experience.
And this month at the Tricky Triangle, NASCAR Race Weekend, June 20th to the 22nd, will be revving your engines with the Explore the Pocono Mountains 250 on Saturday and the Great American Getaway 400 presented by VisitPA.com on Sunday. It's going to be epic.
Make sure you get your tickets for race weekend at PoconoRaceway.com. And we'll be back in July with another pit stop at a Pocono State Park, Beltsville State Park, for our series exploring state parks in the Poconos.
Thanks for watching.
And enjoy summer in the Poconos.